How are you seeking the good of those around you? It's tempting sometimes, isn't it, to use our knowledge of life or freedom that we have. We're living in a world that tends to tear down others. And sometimes we hide behind, I'm only telling the truth. But if it's not helpful or edifying, it doesn't matter what truth you're saying, it's not beneficial. 1 Corinthians 10:23, Paul says this to the Corinthian church. He said, all things are permitted, but not all things are profitable. All things are permitted, but not all things build up. And I'm just really putting that in the context of the way things have been here with mandates and passes, and now it's all been scrapped, it's all gone. And suddenly there's going to be a lot of repairing of relationships and friendships that are going to need to be done. And Paul sets up a contrast here in that scripture, 1 Corinthians 10:23, to set apart what should be the focus, not just of the Corinthian church, but even us today. And he stresses three things. He says that instead of flaunting freedom, we should be focused on what is helpful and constructive for those around us. Seeking the good for the other person should be our first reflex. And it's not just limited to Christians either. Paul says in verses 31 and 32, he says, therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all things for the glory of God. Give no offense both to Jews and to Greeks and to the church of God. So in this social media, internet age that we live in, that's quite a tall order not to give offense. When we don't see someone face to face, it's much easier to tear them down. It's much easier to attack their comments. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't challenge ideas. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the appropriate time. But what it does mean is that we should carefully consider our audience, who's watching, who's listening, and we should act in a way that best communicates the message of the gospel. Pastor Bruce used to say, well, I've heard him say it several times, you can be right, but you're wrong. You can be stating a truth, but the way you go about it can be wrong. And finally, verse 33, Paul says, whatever the case, we should please all people in all things, not seeking our own benefit, but the benefit of man, in order that they may be saved. That's what we're here for. We're here to preach the gospel, and sometimes we even use words. So just be careful. Let's be careful out there how we live our life, how we address things, and just like I said at the beginning, how are you seeking the good of those around you? Bless. Hey, thanks very much for watching Hope is Alive channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like and click here or over here or just to my over there or just to this side to watch more videos. Come on, you can do it.